wish you all, for on your fourth year DC Live, going live on DC Live, right? That's what I want to call it, 4th July. 4th July also is the Independence Day for the United States of America, right? So I think, so you have a great, very significant day for this, right? So I think, great. So wishing you all a great success, and the entire team of DC Live and you and all that people have attracted over this year on DC Live. So commendable and great initiatives, and thank you for having the show run.
Thanks, Rudhra.
DC team. Yeah, that's what I wanted to start with.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. All right. So people, listeners across all locations, wherever you're tuning in from, this is your RJ Rudhra, and I'm on your show today. And on a great Friday evening, we are here on the show Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. That's where we are. And we're going to talk about a very interesting topic. Please feel free to put in your questions on any of the portals that's available. You can do it on the in meeting, which is here, or you can also go ahead and do that on the chat box on the DC Live website. So we are live on DC Live. We care, we share, and we are on air. Great. So as I said, we are on another episode of Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. As always, we want to learn about the human dynamics here, and we are here every Friday at 5:30 p.m., bringing you insights and discussions that matter for your personal journey. Nevertheless, it's also important for your professional journey and at workplace. And speaking of human dynamics and well-being, and what do we want to talk about? This topic is one of my favorites, that I always talk about. And let's get into it and then learn about emotional intelligence at work. Yes, that's right. You heard it right. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence at work. Now, in today's fast-paced corporate world, it's easy to get caught up in deadlines, targets, productivity, and relentless pursuit of success, and all of it. We focus so much on our technical skills. That's using our intelligence quotient, right? So the intelligence quotient, or the IQ, and our ability to crunch numbers, or completely breaking down complex software structures. But we overlook our ability to understand ourselves and others, right? So, and that is the reason why we want the show. And this concept of this show, the name of the show is, this is the cornerstone at a workplace, which is weaving workplace. How do you weave workplace? And in the first promo and the episode, we spoke about how to look beyond technical skills, right? And that's exactly what we're going to do on these shows and today as well, to navigate the intricate web of human emotions, right? So that's what we're going to talk about, that are constantly at play in professional environments. That, to me, listeners and my friends everywhere, is what is emotional intelligence and its significance and its impact that comes into effect. So let's understand this right now. Okay, what exactly is emotional intelligence? In simple terms, it's the ability to identify, understand, and manage your own emotions. That's what we're talking about. Okay, I repeat. In simple terms, it's your ability to identify, understand, and manage your own emotions. Now, also extended, it is to recognize and influence the emotions of others. So it works not only with it's not about working with your emotions, it's also about working with others' emotions. It's about being aware of what you're feeling. Why are you feeling like that? And how these feelings impact your behavior and the people around you. And just as importantly, it's about being able to read the room empathize with your colleagues, build stronger and more effective relationship. Be it in a meeting, be it an offline conversation, be it in your client meetings. That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about emotional intelligence. Now, let's look at it this way, right? So let me ask you a question. Think about it. How many times have you seen a brilliant individual, great with AIs, great with tools, great with applications, right? How many times have you seen a brilliant individual struggle in a team setting because they lacked the ability to communicate effectively, manage conflicts, understand diverse perspectives? Or perhaps you have witnessed a manager, a leader, yourself, or your team members with incredible technical expertise, right? So with incredible technical expertise, but who consistently demotivates the team due to lack of empathy, right? So sometimes they're just insensitive to it. They're all classic signs of low emotional intelligence. That's what we're talking about. On the flip side, let's look at someone with high emotional intelligence is like a great leader, inspiring. They can navigate difficult conversations with grace, inspire colleagues, and build a positive and a collaborative work environment. They are the ones who can diffuse tension before it escalates, who can offer constructive feedback and great support to people, and all of these. This is what we're talking about here. Okay. Now, they can truly listen and understand just to respond, and probably it's not like they just want to respond to you. Now let's quickly stop here for a moment, reflect those moments where you have been empathetic, you have acted with emotional intelligence, or someone has acted with emotional intelligence with you. Just go ahead and reflect yourself. I'm gonna leave here about 30 seconds for all of you to reflect, all the listeners to reflect. While you take that moment, I'm just going to count 30, right? So let's count 30, 29, 28, 26, 26, 25, 23, 21, 19. It's about 15. You're left with another 15 seconds. Just ping if you felt nice about someone, the way they treated you well, the way that you felt good about it. Yeah, sometimes you do feel bad about it, but then just go ahead and think about it and put it in on the on your on the chat box anywhere. Just go ahead and put that. And let's meanwhile, we will learn about further into emotional intelligence and understanding and utilizing it, and what's in it for me, and why do I have to learn this, and all of that. Yeah. Right. So we were at 15. Now we are at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. All right. So I hope you all were able to reflect with some even that happened with emotional intelligence for you all. Let's also understand how do you know how your emotional intelligence. Think about it this way, right? Yeah, there are reports which are available, like a self-report test. There's also an ability test. There are multiple ways to testing emotional intelligence, but then the best way to do it is think about how you reacted when you were angry, how you were reacted when you were put into stress situations. That's the best way to identify. And how do you regulate your emotions? Now, a bit theoretical right now, but then it's very important for you to understand this. Let's look at it. Characteristics or elements of emotional intelligence, right? So there's always a psychologist who gives this. There were 5 key components of emotional intelligence that was given by this person called Daniel Goleman. So I repeat, that's Daniel Goleman. He gave 5 key components, and let's look at what does each one of them do, and then why is it important for us. And the first one he spoke about is called self-awareness, which is knowing your emotions, strengths, weakness, values, goals, and understanding their impact on others, which is self-awareness. The next one is self-regulation, which is your ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and moods and think before acting. There are two things: self-awareness and self-regulation. Self-awareness is just being aware of your own emotions, your strengths, your weakness, your values, and your goals, and understanding its impact on others. Self-regulation is your ability to control or redirect disruptive impulses and moods and to think before acting on it. That's what is self-regulation. Now, a motivation, right? So motivation is about a passion to work for reasons that go beyond money or status. And it is about something that drives you to pursue goals with energy and persistence. That's what we're talking about. That's motivation. Empathy, ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people, right? That's the empathy part of it. And there are three there are three levels of empathy that I've spoken in the previous class, which is cognitive, emotional, and compassionate. Cognitive is about how others think, and how others reflect, and that's what is cognitive empathy. And then emotional empathy is about the way they feel, you relate to their emotions. And compassionate is what can you do about their emotions. That is compassionate. And after that is your social skills, your proficiency in managing relationships, building networks, and an ability to find common ground and build rapport, right? So building rapport is that moment when you want to find a common thing between another person and you talk about it, your common interests, your common things that you have. That is what is your social skill. Now, I'm going to stop here for a moment and then leave this here for you to think. I'm just going to name them. I'm not going to explain them again. Self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, social skills. And when you nurture these 5 pillars, you're not just improving yourself, you're actively contributing to a healthier, definitely healthy, productive, and a very fulfilling workplace for everyone. That's what you do. Now, let me also speak from your side, right? Now, let me speak about it from your side. You might be thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but how does it play out in the real world? Yeah. You can ask me, can you give me a concrete example? Absolutely. Let's talk about it in a situation. Did you really think about it, Sri Lekha Gnanapriya? You know what? How do you play this in the real world?
Very difficult, Rudra. Yes.
In this
if
world.
You read psychological, it's very easy. You might think that you'll have lots of steps. You do this, this will happen like. But when practically we apply, yes.
Okay, got it.
Mood swing.
Understandable. Understandable. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So let's look at it, in a way that. Okay, let's probably take a real something which is which probably is I'm just speaking something here. Let's look at it. Imagine a scenario in a team. Probably that's an organization. They have 2 critical departments, right? So there's always a, how do we call it? Okay, let's look at it as a product development team and a quality assurance team. Okay, there's a product development team and a quality assurance. What does a quality assurance team do? Yeah, we do QA on cloud right here as well. So the product development team develops the product. The quality assurance or the QA team goes ahead and ensures that they test the product. Now, what happens here is, for months, there have been underlying tension and frequent disagreements between the 2 teams, right? So because imagine the QA, the product team releases a version and this team says, no, this is not working. So sometimes it so happens that the product development team will feel that the QA, the quality analyst, is about finding bugs and enhancements, right? So they constantly keep finding faults and delaying, because of which what happens, the releases, the versions and the release gets delayed. Now, obviously, the product development team is going to react to it, right? So while the QA team believed that the product development rushed their work, and there's a lot of rework and bugs and everything, but then the That's what the quality team feels, and the product development teams feel that the releases are stopped, or something like that. So now there's a lot of exchange and emails that's going on and all of that, and there is someone, a team member, noticed this tension, and instead of telling that you're doing wrong, doing wrong, the person there who wanted to just understand this, probably like a manager or a leader or a head, they approached this problem with a lot of emotion behind it. Yeah, because both the teams are doing their work. Now, how do we get this? So they practiced self-awareness. They recognized within the team that there's a lot of frustration that's causing delays. There's a lot of overwork because of the rework and approaches. And she understood that, he or she understood that their role was to facilitate and not to blame here. So that was the self-awareness. The first path is to identify that there is a lot of emotions behind the two teams getting into this conflict. So they identified the emotions behind it. They realized what the emotions each of the team is going through, they are going through, and also the others, how can this impact when we're making statements. So the person took this on them, and then they practice self-awareness. Now, after self-awareness is to regulate it, they ensured that the teams are not exacerbating this particular emotion at that moment. They said, let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, that's the second step, which is your self-regulation. The motivation is already there because they are working. There's so much of passion for working for their own teams. That's the motivation bit. Now, after all of this, they expressed empathy, right? So they practiced empathy and had individual connects and meetings with key members from both the teams. Not to interrogate or not to question them, just to listen. And then when this happened, and when you ask a question like, can you help me understand the challenges you're facing from your perspective? And what do you think is probably misunderstood about your team and others? When you listen to that, that's when the pressure kind of dissipated. And their genuine desire to deliver from both the teams got together, and then their feelings were validated, and it was not judgmental without taking sides, and both were understood. Okay, both of them have a emotional connect with this, and that is the reason why they're so passionate about it. When this happened, it is about being socially aware of what is happening, and that is your social skills. And social awareness helps because of these conversations. The person gained deeper social awareness of the underlying issues, and they realized that both teams were working under immense pressure and genuinely believed what they were doing, what was the best for the company and their team. It wasn't the problem here wasn't a lack of effort or bad intentions by both the team. It was lack of the synergy, the understanding, and the emotions, and getting each other to know why are they doing this, and that helped and built trust. With this understanding, you use your social skills to bring the teams together. Instead of a formal or a confrontational meeting, you organize a workshop focused on optimizing our collaboration for product excellence, for quality excellence, and you design these activities. And this will help members from each of the team to pair up and solve possibly like a team learning kind of a setup, and then that required a lot of mutual understanding. This facilitated sessions where each team presented their standard operating procedures, their challenges, and the others learned about their metrics and why are they getting so frustrated, allowing the other team to ask clarified questions in a very non-judgmental environment. This helped both teams to get together. And finally, this is where you blend as one team and start working. The outcome of this is the teams, it's not magic that it becomes best friends overnight. They're not going to become best friends overnight, but a significant perspective shift from each other's perspective, appreciate the respective challenges, understand the interdependencies each one had, and how is it eating their, how is it impacting their KPIs and metrics. They developed joint protocols, like what's the handoff, what's the feedback, and most importantly, they started communicating directly and respectfully when issues arise, rather than letting frustrations fester. This is what is exhibiting high emotional intelligence, and you transform a functional dynamic into a more collaborative and an effective working relationship. This is what I'm talking about. This can be done with essentially two individuals as well, right? So when you're talking about, there's a high frustration when someone is taking, as a leader, you see a team member taking too many leaves, being very inconsistent with schedule adherence and break adherence. You just go ahead and sit them down and talk to them and understand what is happening, why is it happening, why are they coming inconsistent with attendance, inconsistent with breaks. Then you will uncover this. There's an underlying cause which is related, maybe personal, which you cannot solve, but then you recognized it, validated it, and told them, do you want to take a couple of days time off at work? Go ahead, finish that and come back. It's okay to be away from work. Vice versa. Now you see a manager or a team lead who's always with that high fire on them, and then they are reacting immediately, and then they're just not themselves. Then you probably talk to them and understand, okay, why are they emotionally driven like this? You talk to them, you understand, you practice self awareness, then self-regulation, then social skills on them. Then they will definitely collaborate and get better with their emotions. So it's very important that we learn how to react, first of all, the first step is self-awareness, which is to identify our emotions, then self-regulation, which is ability to control our impulsive reactions and moods and think before acting. Another one is motivation, finding a reason why, what's that passion that helps us go beyond it. Empathy, be considerate and non-judgmental to others, being socially aware and practicing social skills is going to blend, and all of this is going to help you regulate your emotions and the way you behave with others. That's very, very important, and that is what is basis of your intrapersonal and interpersonal skills. That's what we talk about, right? So we always talk about all of these: a great people manager, a great people's person, and all of these. Where does this come from? This comes from here. So you can start weaving more emotional intelligence into your workplace interactions as a great first step in self-reflections. Think about, how do you react under pressure? Are you aware of your emotional triggers? How do your words and actions impact your colleagues? How well do you truly listen to others? Start small. I think I just heard Jnanapriya, she was just talking about it. How you can start, and what's your path of journey and all of that. And that's where I heard. She also said, make incremental, start small. Practice active listening in your next meeting. Before reacting to a challenging email, take a moment to understand the sender's perspective. Yeah. Offer genuine appreciation to colleagues for their efforts. These small acts can have a ripple effect, fostering a more emotionally intelligent environment for everyone. I repeat, how do you start weaving emotional intelligence into your workplace interactions? The first step is self-reflection. What does self-reflection do? How do you react under pressure? Are you aware of your emotional triggers? How do your words and actions impact your colleagues? How well do you truly listen to others? Start with these 4 or 5 things. That's the self-reflection and self-awareness. And practice self-regulation, which is, don't get emotionally triggered. Don't use harsh words. Don't immediately get into an action when you're emotionally driven. That's your self-regulation. Your empathy, and then the emotional, the social awareness and skills will follow from there, right? All right. Any questions, comments, anything that anybody has from the group or from you, Srilekha, on this? Jnanapriya, whoever is hosting it.
No comments, Rudra. Maybe Jnanapriya, you have anything to share?
Great. Okay, and that brings us to the end of another session of Cornerstone Weaving Workplace. I hope this discussion on emotional intelligence has given us some valuable takeaways to apply in our professional life. Remember this, right? So building a thriving workplace is a collective effort, and emotional intelligence is a cornerstone of that success. Until I meet you again, this is Rudra signing off. Join me next Friday at 5:30 p.m. for another engaging topic on Cornerstone Weaving Workplace on DC Live. We care, we share, and we are on air. This is RJ Rudra signing off. Have a wonderful evening and a productive week ahead. And a kudos to the DC Live team on their 4th year anniversary of from when they started off. Congratulations and all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Rudra. We started on 2021 for July. So still we remember. So when they talk about DC Live, it's all about the pandemic time where we started it. Anyhow, this journey I'm going to talk at 6 o'clock. So if you are available, please do join and
Sure.
connect with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.